Welcome to GolfForecast. We offer two algorithms that leverage value and budget distribution to help provide subscribers with maximizing profits. However, GolfForecast is more than just an algorithm. It's a strategy. If we were just an algorithm, we would simply give you bets and leave you on your own to determine stake, budget distribution, and compounding. However, we offer all of this in one system so users can bet smart, manage their money wisely, and safely increase or decrease stakes to maximize profits, which may seem pretty straightforward. However, managing money, especially in large quantities, increasing or decreasing stake at the right time and amount, and most importantly, doing the math to find value within the bookies is a lot more complicated than it sounds. In this video, I'm going to go over our algorithm's results and then discuss what a 1-month trial at GolfForecast looks like. First, our diversified algorithm, which is this one here. This is the safer, more consistent algorithm, and we recommend you use this if you're looking to make the most out of your GolfForecast experience. Both in the short term and the long term, this algorithm provides better results overall. The only upside to our other algorithm, which is this one here, is that it bets 8% of the field. Overall, a lot less effort to bet on less players. And due to that, the wins are much larger because it's not dispersed over more players. However, when wins are larger, losses are always larger. On to the results. This algorithm has been consistent since the very beginning, starting at 0 and now at 1,042 points, meaning you bet £10 per point, you'd profit £10,042. This is just a simplified example though. If you were to follow our compounding suggestions, your profits would be much higher than this. This is where the risk metric comes into play. If you're starting with £1,000, you divide that number by the risk factor, in this case 10, to get 100, meaning you bet £100 per tournament. But let's say you make £150 on that tournament, which is a normal return for our algorithm if you're staking £100. You'd now have £1,150, meaning you change your stake to £115 per tournament. This is a compounding strategy. Subscribers need to utilize this in order to make large amounts of money using our platform. We suggest you adjust your stake every week based on your new bank total. So even though the ROI on the diversified algorithm is lower compared to the ROI algorithm, as you can see, the consistency in the algorithm is far greater on the diversified algorithm, meaning no matter where you start or how long you bet for, the profits are going to be much more consistent. There's not a lot of downward trends, and if they are, they don't last for very long, maybe 2 or 3 tournaments at a time, and exceptions, a month or maybe a month and a half. As on the ROI algorithm, you can see that the downtrends are quite aggressive and long. This one here lasted from September all the way down to end of February, which is a long downtrend. You need to be betting for large amounts of time to make this algorithm work. The main numbers to look at are the strike rate and the winner strike rate. The strike rate is how often the algorithm is creating a positive return for subscribers. So 40%, which is roughly 1 in every 2.5 tournaments, you are getting a profit. And the winner strike rate is how often we're predicting a winner, which is 1 in every 3.2 tournaments. Since our algorithm is based on each way betting, we can still profit even if we didn't predict the winner. Now let's hop into the members area. Welcome to the members area. This is the first page you'll see once you log in and gives you a brief overview of the tournaments happening this week and the players you'll be betting on. To see the players you'll be betting on, simply click the Your Tips page, and to see a more in-depth table of how these tips were made, you'll click on the Forecast page. Next, I'm going to show you how to configure your account settings. So firstly, you're going to go to the top right corner and click My Account. Now in account settings, there are 3 features I'd like to highlight. First is algorithm preferences. This is where you can toggle between using the two algorithms. However, we highly recommend using the diversifying algorithm, so please keep this checkmarked. Next is the stake per event. First, you have to determine how much you're going to stake per event. As indicated here, if you're using the diversifying algorithm, you're going to divide this by 10. So, in the previous example, we had £1,000. Divide that by 10, your stake per event is going to be 100. And then simply select your currency and click Save Preferences. Next is your bookie preferences. If you're not signed up with all the bookies, simply pick which ones you are signed up with and ready to bet with. That will tell our system to only show you the top odds from your preferred bookies. You can add as many or as little as you want. And click Save to continue. Now on the Your Tips page. This is where you'll receive all the bets for that week. All bets should be made as each way bets. Next, if you care to learn how we calculate these tips, simply click here. The stake is a very exact calculation, down to the cent, so please do not round up or down. This number is determined by how much you indicate on the account settings page. In the previous example, I made it so I'm staking £100 per tournament. So if you add up all the stakes for each player, it will equal £100. Next is the top bookie for that given player. If you click on Show More, you can compare the best to the worst. As you can see, Betfred 25-1 compared to Skybet at 40-1. Next is the terms. Paying 8 at 1/5 means if the player comes 8th, they'll get 1/5 of their original odds. And lastly, the value. This indicates how much you'd get back if that player places. The higher the odds, the higher the return. Within forecasts, you'll receive a more in-depth table on how these tips are made. You can click the key button to learn what all these terms mean, and click here to view the selected tournament. Below are all the players in that lineup. Implied represents the bookie's odds in a percentage. So if Higo is 35-1, the bookie thinks his odds of winning are 2.78%. Normalized is the golfer's true probability if the bookie had no intention of profiting. If you take the bookie's odds and sum them up to 100%, this gives you the real probability for each golfer. Predicted is the probability our algorithm has projected. This is based on available player data from the past 3 years, course data, and weather conditions. Discrepancy is the final outcome. This is where we subtract the true probability of the golfer by the algorithm's predicted percentage, giving you the real value on that bet. This is strictly based on probability, so of course it won't profit every time, but based on true numbers, over a long period of time, you will profit more than you lose. The only unknown is how much that profit will be. Here at GolfForecast, we have had 6-week losing streaks, along with 6-week winning streaks. That's just betting. But in the past 3 years, we have averaged an annual return of 25%. Next is the stake. The stake is indicating how much to bet on that player. The stake is double what the point value is on the tips page. This is doubled because our algorithm is based on each way betting. Please note that the stake is simply a representation of how much you'll be leveraging that player. The actual amount you bet is indicated by the player's points on the Your Tips page. And lastly, the highlighted green rows are the advised tips. And in the rare case there's a yellow line, that indicates the bookie is letting you bet on a player that isn't competing. Lastly, you can sort through this table based on whatever term you feel is fit.